part 3 of what I learned from speaking to a millionaire entrepreneur. So the first things first is it's agnostic of your starting point. It's irrelevant of whether you're educated, not educated, female, male, 24, 25, 57. It's irrelevant of your starting point. And I say that in a caring way so that the barrier to entry is so low that anybody can start. The second tip that I said is that speed is really, really important. We can sit there, we can hypothesize, we can amass all the knowledge and do all of the homework and gather more data, but execution, implementation, failing fast, like I know we hear these buzz terms all of the time, but what I heard and what I learned from this guy is that speed is imperative. You've just got to go, start, take a bit of a risk and see what happens, right? You can iterate as you go along and learn and improve. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And that bleeds into other areas of your life. The more and more you try and the more you fail and the more you get this shortened feedback loop. And the more you iterate and the more you develop and improve, it's like this upward, infectious, brilliant upward momentum cycle that you keep on improving and iterating and improving and iterating with data and evidence. And if you do that on a daily basis with this new product or service or this business, imagine that bleeding into every other area of your life. If you're a corporate monkey like me and you're thinking of starting a side hustle, for example, and you're taking that attitude of failing fast, learning, implementing, iterating, backing up with evidence, and you therefore sort of become numb and you become accustomed to failing fast and learning lessons, and then that kind of gives you the confidence that it can bleed into other areas of your life, so that in your corporate day job, of course it's a different risk appetite because it's someone else's money and not your own, and there's bureaucracy and then you've got your boss to speak to and all of this sort of stuff. I get all of those caveats, but generally speaking you realize that it's not the end of the world if you make a mistake, and the fact that you're failing fast and trying and executing, I think, and if you bring that into other areas of your life, I think that's going to be really welcomed, because people like speed, people like execution, people like trying, people like the momentum going and going and going. And as we know, like Barack Obama said, right, you're never going to be able to make a perfect decision with imperfect. And if you've got sort of all the knowledge that you have at that moment in time, and you know that you could have more knowledge, but it just isn't available to you, make a decision based on like 50% probability or 50% certainty. And that in itself, with all the information that you have at that time, is going to be better than perfect 100%, a year later, for example. So that's the third lesson I learned, which is speed and execution